I'm Terry Saka, and this is Rigged Against You. Today, we're going to discuss the American financial coup. What I'd like to try to explain is how we got where we're at, what they did to kind of fool we the people, but also it did create, I guess we could say, a false American dream, or we really did because we printed so much currency, we inflated the system. We are reaping the results of that right now. We are seeing going on the inflation, and it can't slow down because they're printing $1 trillion every few months. And after this election, they will print trillions. They will have to. Inflation will continue to rise. And unless we cut half of the government and really change how we do business and create productivity, bring business back to America, you're not stopping this. But the American financial coup is real, and it's been happening for some time. But I want to explain today how they did it, why we didn't understand it, why we never saw it coming, because it's all about politics. So check this out. The American financial coup. In the wake of 2008 financial crisis, former chief economist of the International Monetary Fund, Simon Johnson, he warned that the same dysfunctional policies he saw in his basket case banana republics had taken hold in the United States. We're becoming a banana republic here in many ways, aren't we? Johnson warned that if America did not act fast, we would plunge into a quiet coup as the American financial system effectively captures the government, bailing itself out until we run out of money. That's where we're at right now. We're running out of money, and people don't realize it. We exported all of our manufacturing overseas. We're out of money. If you study history, a great prosperous nation controls energy. If you have cheap and abundant energy, you can have a great and prosperous nation. That's what President Trump was trying to do and did. And the very first act that Biden did when he took over was kill the American energy independence, let alone look at our food production. If you study what's going on without getting into the economic forum and the fourth industrial revolution and what is really behind the scenes of enslaving we the people, you'll know it's done on purpose. They're collapsing our energy so we're not productive. They're controlling the food so we will have when we have an epic collapse of all time, the people will beg for a central solution. They'll give us digital ID, digital currency, and we would become slaves. You will be controlled by your money. They will tell you what you cannot do, where you can go, and when. And if you don't believe me, you better get studying, because that is how important this election is. Actually, if you want to go politics, because Kamala Harris is also part of the SS troops of the World Economic Forum. She's joining Justin Trudeau. She joins Merkel over in Germany. Their goal was to internally destroy the nation so they can bring us to this kind of one world order scenario, which really is digital ID, digital currency, controlling our behavior. And if you hadn't seen the speech by Bukele, who's a president of El Salvador, you better watch it. That man is game on, and he overthrew El Salvador and took it. But he came here and gave a speech and said, America, if you do not get this right, which means this election, by the way, we are going to spiral into economic tyranny. Even those on the left, are going to be so poor, they're going to be shocked that they didn't see it coming. He said it took him almost 50 years to get that country back in the right direction. And I say, if we don't get it right now and stop this globalist insanity, we're gone as the United States of America and the Constitution as you know it. And if you don't believe me, it just doesn't matter, because it's in the white papers, backed up by speeches. It's getting done now. That's what these people, Klaus Schwab, and all of them are about. You just have to understand how important this is. Now, the financial coup, look at this for the proof of where we're at. This is total system leverage of our monies, government, corporate, household, margin, and banks. The red is the leverage system, and then the blue is the stock market. As long as they're staying there, if you notice when the actual stock market goes beyond the leverage, like there in the dot-com crash in the middle, and then the financial crisis, it didn't even get that high and we already collapsed. Look at on the right where we're at. The markets are so out of whack, way beyond the financial system leverage, to the point we are on the verge of a major house cleaning financially. I don't know how this plays out. It is easily a 30% stock market correction just for the cleansing. And if any systemic issue, war or pandemic or other thing creeps in, you're seeing 50, 60% of that market coming off. In your retirement holdings, you could take years to get back to break even, not even calculating the level of inflation we will have. It will be a grave mistake not to be heavily diversified out into precious metals during this time, because we are entering what we call a commodity super cycle. Big stuff going on here. So the bottom line is our bankrupt financial system with trillions of distressed debt has one thing in common, and that is you, the taxpayer. We will be bailing them all out, or better yet, bailing in. Remember the 2008 Dodd-Frank bail-in, meaning they take your stocks and bonds? We saw this in the 2023 bank bailouts, prepaid in the dark. They drained the FDIC insurance fund. Given that we have $35 trillion in national debt and growing rapidly on a monthly basis, we cannot afford it. But you have it in savings, you have it in stocks, and you have it in bonds, which is real collateral to the financial system. And that is called the great taking, that you should be really concerned and educated on, because what you have in the financial system is collateral to those charts I showed you, to that leverage, to that created rigged system of debt. They have it in the law, U.S. Commercial Code 5 and 6. They can take your stocks as a bail-in. Read the Dodd-Frank Law 2008. Now, at some point, it gets too big to bail out and even in, meaning that even a hard default is coming. Now, more or less, I'm now, when it comes to that part, they stop paying interest when that happens. Our treasury bonds default. It's chaos at that point. Or more likely, we get a soft default. They will let inflation rip through the ceiling. Why gold and silver will be so valuable just for this time and season, and then we sell off at the profit and go back in when we see what trees are standing. Oh gosh, this is just unbelievable. Melting away the national debt by inflation along with your life savings. And between here and there is a wholesome fleecing of the middle class and the working class whose life savings is on the line. The bottom line is, you think you're protected. You think it's okay. The money in the bank, the stocks in the mutual funds in the stock market, the IRAs, retirement accounts, is unsecured creditor status, in street name only, and as collateral to the financial system. Why in God's name would you be so heavily involved at this time and season, putting most of your hard-earned savings in the hands of this scenario? Take a look at this. From 1973, and this is how the coup, all this stuff took place, is amazing. From 73 to 85, the financial sector never really earned more than 16% of the domestic corporate product. But by the time the early 2000s came around, they earned 41%. What does that mean? They had a lot of money. That's why when you hear the rich are separating banking and investment banking, it was Bush that did that. Bad idea that was. In other words, freeing the banks to gamble with taxpayer guaranteed funds. Then it lobbied to raise, they used this 41% profit. They lobbied to raise the leverage premium, meaning how much the financial sector can borrow. So it can make large gambles with a small amount of money, again, all at taxpayer guaranteed expense. And when you see how in debt with the derivatives, you see where our financial system is in the banking system, they are gambling with your life savings. Are you willing to take that chance? If you want to stay in the stock market, stay 1/3 in the market. I'd be 2/3 out without a doubt, because we are at such a precarious place in history, especially with this fourth turning coming. It doesn't look good. We are now at this point. This election is enormous for the future of America. If you understood what the East was doing with BRICS, their new currency unit goes live here in a week or so, 40% backed by gold, and our banking system is in this level of disarray, extreme amount of leverage. $1 you put in the bank, they're loaning out 26. You want to talk about leverage? If all of you showed up to your bank to get the money out, it's not there. Are you willing to take risk in this time and season? All I'm saying, get out of the way and wait and see. Over the next 12 to 18 months, you're going to know exactly how this plays out, and you can re-diversify by getting back out of profits from the metals and going back into the system. But then you'll have a better picture, because this is a major forest fire. I'd wait until the fire's out and see what tree is standing. So until next time, God bless you.
With all of the recent changes in the political and financial markets, there has never been a better time than right now to invest in silver and gold. When governments simply print billions of dollars in paper money in hopes of solving financial shortfalls, you know that it is time to buy and hold assets of true and lasting value. Free information is available to you right now by calling 888-747-3309. Whether you are a new investor or you're interested in preserving the value of your retirement accounts, we make it easy for you to make smart decisions for your financial future. The specialists at Cornerstone are here to serve you, work to satisfy your retirement goals, and communicate with respect. Call us right now at 888-747-3309. That's 888-747-3309. Or visit us online at cornerstoneassetmetals.com. That's cornerstoneassetmetals.com.